right, language arts. I'm going to read Owl Moon, and then after I will read a Christmas book. So, raise your hand if you have heard this book before. So a decent amount. It's a very beautiful book. The words are very beautiful and very well written by Jane Yolen. Does anybody know that name? Jane Yolen. She has a very popular book series about dinosaurs. Who has read the dinosaur books? Olivia, can you name one? Oh. All right, so she has written many books, and how does a dinosaur clean its room? How does a dinosaur, what are some of the, I have them all at home. I can't even think of them offhand. How does a dinosaur, there's one, I brought one with me, it's the Christmas one. They're very cute. How does a dinosaur play safe? How does a dinosaur, there's just a bunch of them.
How does dinosaur learn to read?
Is that one? That might be a small, I have not that one.
I have that.
Okay, so they're very fun, and the illustrations are phenomenal.
How a dinosaur eats?
Yeah, I think so. How does a dinosaur say good night? How does a dinosaur say I love you? There's a lot of them. They're really fun. So this is the same author of the dinosaur books. Yes, Olivia.
My cousin, he is named Judah, and he loves dinosaurs. He has like a whole box of figured dinosaurs.
Oh boy, lots of kids love their dinosaurs. All right, let's get reading. It was late one winter night, long past my bedtime, when Pa and I went owling. Why would they go out at night if they were wanting to find an owl? Why wouldn't you go out in daytime? Grant.
Owls are nocturnal.
Yes, which means what? That they're out at? Yes, very good. There was no wind. The trees stood still like giant statues. And the moon was so bright. The sky seemed to shine. Has anyone ever had a night in the wintertime where the moon is really bright and it radiates off the snow and it looks like it's light out, or lighter? It's beautiful. We don't have that right now since we don't have snow, but I can picture that. Somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew, long and low, like a sad, sad song. Who has heard a train whistle? It does kind of have an eerie sound. I could hear it through my woolen cap Pa had pulled down over my ears. A farm dog answered the train, and then a second dog joined in. They sang out, trains and dogs, for a real long time. And when their voices faded away, it was quiet as a dream. Pa walked on toward the woods, Pa and I. And you see the little fox?
I like foxes.
I like foxes too. I think they're cute. Our feet crunched over the crisp snow, and the little gray footprints followed us. Pa made a long shadow, but mine was short and round. I had to run after him every now and then to keep up, and my short, round shadow bumped after me. But I never called out. If you go owling, you have to be quiet. That's what Pa always says. I had been waiting to go owling with Pa for a long, long time. We reached the line of pine trees, black and pointy against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. He looked up, as if searching the stars, as if reading a map up there. The moon made his face into a silver mask. Then he called, hoo, 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 hoo. The sound of the great horned owl. Hoo, 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 hoo. Oh, there's somebody in the tree. You see that? Who is it? It's a raccoon. Again, he called out, and then again. After each call, he was silent. And for a moment, we both listened, but there was no answer. Pa shrugged, And I shrugged. I was not disappointed. My brothers all said, sometimes there's an owl, and sometimes there isn't. Wait till after. We walked on. I could feel the cold as if someone's icy hand was palmed down on my back, and my nose and the top of my cheeks felt cold and hot at the same time. But I never said a word. If you go owling, you have to be quiet and make your own heat. Oh, that's right. I forgot to say, if you hear the sentence, raise your hand. Have we heard it yet?
No.
What is it again?
Then the owl mounted straight wings and lifted out the branch of the shadow without.
Perfect. So what does that tell us? Are we going to find an owl?
Yeah.
We went into the woods. The shadows were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained this white snow. My mouth felt furry, but the scarf was over it. It was warm and wet. I didn't ask what kinds of things hide behind black trees in the middle of the night. When you go owling, you have to be brave. Do you think it'd be scary to go into the dark woods at night?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, all right. Oh, and look at, there's a deer. Almost at every page, there is an animal hiding. You have to look really close. Then we came to a clearing in the dark woods. The moon was high above us. It seemed to fit exactly over the center of the clearing, and the snow below it was whiter than the milk in a cereal bowl. I like her descriptive sentences. Yes, John. It's her dad. It's another name for Dad, Pa. I sighed, and Pa held up his hand at the sound, put my mittens over the scarf over my mouth, and listened hard. And then Pa called, "Hoo, hoo, 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 hoo." I listened and looked so hard my ears hurt, and my eyes got cloudy with the cold. Pa raised his face to call out again, but before he could open his mouth, an echo came threading its way through the trees. Hoo, 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 hoo. Pa almost smiled. Then he called back, "Hoo, hoo, 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 hoo." And it's if he and the owl were talking about supper or about the woods or the moon or the cold. I took my mitten off the scarf, off my mouth, and I almost smiled too. What's coming? The owl came closer from high up in the trees on the edge of the meadow. Nothing in the meadow moved. All of a sudden, an owl shadow, part of a big tree shadow, lifted off and flew right over us. We watched silently with heat in our mouths, the heat of all those words we had not spoken. The shadow hooted again. Who has ever seen a great horned owl? They're really big. They're beautiful. Pa turned on his big flashlight and caught the owl just as it was landing on a branch. Ooh. For 1 minute, 3 minutes, maybe even 100 minutes, we stared at one another. Isn't he beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Then the owl pumped its great wings and lifted off the branch like a shadow without a sound. Good job, friends. It flew back into the forest. Time to go home, Pa said to me. I knew then I could talk. I could even laugh out loud. But I was a shadow as we walked home. They found an owl. When you go owling, you don't need words or warm or anything but hope. That's what Pa says. The kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining owl moon. So yay, they found their owl. That is so exciting. I love that book. So, yes, Jeremiah.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I saw on YouTube things that don't exist, and one of them is that there's this giant eagle back in the dinosaur age, and it used to eat people.
Nice.
It had big talons.
Yeah, I think everything back in the prehistoric time was huge. I'm just glad that they're not around anymore. Cole. Yes.
On the weekend, we went to Bearview and went to the zoo that had great horned owls and snowy owls, and one of the snow owls only had one eye and
Oh.
one wing.
Aw. Poor guy. Well, he's happy now. He's being taken care of, right? Yes. Cool.
And also at that zoo, one of the people took one of the people took one of the donkeys down to the park next to the zoo.
Oh. So is this a rehabilitation, like a rehabilitation center for animals who have been injured?
No, it was
Just that one was there that was, okay, nice. You said it was a snowy owl? They're so pretty. So Cole, why are they called snowy owls? What color are they?
all wet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really beautiful. Yes, like Hedwig. Oh.
What's Hedwig?
Oh, please. You don't know who Hedwig is?
No. You don't know who is Hedwig? Jonathan.
It's Harry Potter's owl.
I never even watched Harry Potter. Oh yeah, now I know. You
Jonathan. All right, my virtual friends. I realize that we haven't had a lot of classes videoed because we've been doing other things, like watching it's Pearl Harbor Day, so we watched a video about Pearl Harbor and such. So, yes, not a lot videoed, but we'll do math and science after lunch. So I will see you then.